So, one element I need to address. In my video where I reviewed Railroad Romanske, Dazzle Bottleneck, and Gown Dino, I stated that my next reviews were going to be Adachi and Chimera, and Heaven's Official Blessing. However, I noticed when checking the show on Funimation and my anime list that romance wasn't in the tags. I was in like, oh, am I wrong and I actually mistook this for BL? But then I was like, wait, look at the mad side-eye this guy is giving. You're telling me there's nothing there? But after a week of research, I think it counts, so it's back on the list for now. But I did need to cover something, so I pushed Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, up a week. But our last run on Synthesis is about the destined lovers separated by a 100-year-old war. And when I first read that synopsis, I was worried we were going to have another Shironeko project. The war's being fought between two sides, the Empire that uses machines and guns, and the Sovereignty which uses magic. For our destined lovers, we got Isuka, a teenage soldier who wields double swords that counter magic. On the other side, we got Alice, a princess from the Sovereignty that is also a powerful magic user, wielding the power of her tsundere energy to wield ice. Both eventually meet on the battlefield, and then once again in a neutral town, when they're watching a play of the off-brand Romeo and Juliet. They keep running into each other because fate has them in its sweaty hands, mushing them together and telling them just to kiss already. But to circle back to my Shironeko project comparison, our generic Crusade does something Shironeko project didn't. It gave its protagonist some personality. Isuka and Alice, while basic, have some moments and little details that I enjoy. It makes their romance a little bit more believable. And if you couldn't guess, both want to end the 100-year war as peacefully as they can. But they live in a society that sees the other side as complete subhuman scum because of past transgressions. So they do the whole, oh man, you like this sovereignty thing? And you like this empire thing? Maybe we aren't so different after all. But to move to the things I do like, they sort of catch on that they're fated to see each other a lot. There's even a joke that Alice gets really pissed that she had to wait 3 days for Isuka to show up in the neutral city she chose, which got a small chuckle out of me. Plus, Alice even develops some fight sexual tendencies, as after they team up to beat an enemy, she starts planning out venues and dates for a fated fight against Isuka. And to be honest, I'm a sucker for fight sexual characters, so that makes Alice a bit of a better character in my eye. As for Isuka, he gets fewer opportunities to express his personality as he's much more mild-mannered, but I enjoy the smaller moments as he slowly adapts to Alice's eccentricities, and just the small moments where he's just like, what's going on? I'm just trying to be nice here, especially when some of the harem elements show up. But a lot of the plot is just setting up places for Isuka and Alice to go, so they have a big fight with an enemy with cool powers. The best example of this is in the mid-season, where the two forces are fighting over a magic vortex that can power up a magic user. Alice faces the Empire's assassin named Nameless, and Isuka fights a magical user named Kissing. I really like these two fights, and how they sort of mirror each other, as they're both facing a foe that focuses on raw damage over durability. Nameless is an assassin in a stealth suit, and Kissing uses a swarm of thorns. But this arc is also really good at setting up characters and plot points, as both Nameless and Kissing seem to be important to the greater plot of the series, which I will get to later. As well as set up the side plot that after one of Isuka's friends gets kicked into the magic vortex, she becomes a witch, which if discovered, could result in her imprisonment and execution by the Empire higher-ups. And that is if they don't decide to just experiment on her, as they're looking to capture witches alive. But let's go back to the greater plot points. Our protagonists are trying to bring the peace between the two sides, but on both sides, there's a group trying to cause an all-out war. The Empire is trying to kidnap a pure-breed witch, so they can, I assume, marry the concept of machines and magic. And in the Sovereignty, there's a group trying to eliminate the royal family to gain power so they can start the all-out war. But here's the metaphorical monkey on the back of the rise of the status quo. I couldn't give a crap about his bigger plots. I don't care about the cowboy emperor or what his connection to the prisoner is, or the evil princess using the side family for nefarious means. These are just a series of excuses to let our protagonists have cool fights and keep them from doing the big smooch. Also, since it's February, I should comment on the romance. It's about as romantic as a shonen series like Fairy Tail. Acknowledge that the romance and chemistry exist, but at the end of the day, it's mainly shonen battle stuff. Generally, it's an average shonen series, and they're a dime a dozen. It advertises the light novels, it's inoffensive, and a bit forgettable. But I do think there is something here. And no, it's not Ford's story. It's pretty easy to figure out where it'll go and how it's going to end, but it has some alright characters. It's hard to place my finger on exactly what does it for me, but I enjoy the characters of Alice and Isuka. I don't love them, but they're alright. I wouldn't mind seeing more. Again, I don't need to see more, but it's okay. If you want just some generic shonen, here you go. You could do worse, and you could do better. It exists.